scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I would have to say, because they think that the body is alive.
I think he's
when
sleeping.
they kick open the door and they do the raid, they think they're like, rise and shine, sweetheart, or something. You know, the puns, and then they pull the blanket over, and it's just like this decomposing
looking zombie
body. Pretty wild.
Those are good makeup effects.
Yeah, even the one. What's the first one?
It's Gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, that's right. That makeup, this is a bonus Swan fact, I guess, but it's 14 hours, I think.
Really?
And that's the writer of the film in the spaghetti sauce.
That's Andrew Kevin Walker?
Mm-hmm. In 14 hours of makeup.
Yeah, damn.
And they, I guess they had put, he had a little scuba mouthpiece, and he was breathing in the so he could breathe while they're shooting
the spaghetti.
It's a real body sitting there.
Wow. Is he really that big?
No,
it's all
makeup.
prosthetics. Yeah.
But or more questions? Or I haven't said. Did I pick up my scene? Yeah, I would say that first kill.
The first one
was pretty rad because it kind of sets the tone, and the opening credits. Yes. Holy shit!
Yes, that's the shit.
Does that? Yeah. Oh man. Where they're showing him kind of making his books, John Doe,
cutting his fingers.
Holy shit!
But Fincher always has good
credits,
good title sequences.
True.
And I mean that was the first, because I don't remember the title sequence for Alien 3 all that much, but I think it's just the credits on screen. Yeah, it's not like a big credit sequence.
And then he uses, is that Trent?
Yeah, that's a remix of Closer.
Do you know if they were they knew each other at that point? I know Nine Inch Nails were just kind of kicking off.
Yeah, they didn't know each other. He had done that, and then he had done. I don't know how many music videos for Nine Inch Nails. I don't know if it was just a couple or just the one. But then they kind of had that relationship going because just by chance they had worked with one another, and then that's why Reznor and Atticus Ross are scoring the last three films.
Nice. For this score, it's Howard Shore.
Howard Shore, who his score is amazing in this film.
Didn't he do Zodiac as well?
I think he did Zodiac. I know he did The Game, which is Fincher's next movie after this one. Mm-hmm. And I do think that he did Zodiac. I'd have to look that up. Which
they just, I was telling you, they just released on vinyl.
Oh, score?
A different presentation, alternative artwork. It's pretty nice.
Is it the score, or is it like the actual soundtrack? Because there's a lot of songs on that soundtrack.
No, as far as I know, it's the isolated soundtrack.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked about that one scene with the sloth was when the SWAT team's going up, and you see the guy who has the ram for the door, and he's like, "Dicks go last" or something like that.
SWAT before Dicks.
Yeah, SWAT before Dicks,
SWAT
and you hear Morgan Freeman. He's like, "They love this shit," and they bang the door in. But I thought that was really funny. I just like they're like meatheads, or just that's what they do.
Now, am I just imagining things, or is that like a nickname? Are they referring to Dick Tracy because they're detectives?
I don't know where that came from, but yes, that Dicks is a slang term for detectives. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably from the 40s when I was born.
Because Dick Tracy was a detective.
Dick Tracy was a detective. I don't know if that's the true etymology of that name is from Dick Tracy, but yeah,
I would like to think so.
It's a slang.
I don't. What else do you have to say about the film, man? Are we getting into our Swan facts already, or what?
Do
you want to talk about that ending?
God. No, let's talk about the ending.
Okay.
Let's talk about that ending. Then we'll get into some Swan facts and stuff that I wrote down, which you and I may
coincide.
Yeah, we may coincide on some of those. Well, I said it earlier in the show. that this, to me, still is probably one of the bleakest endings to a film that there is, especially a major studio film. And I don't know, do you want to get into what it is?
We can. I mean, this movie is so old now. It's just
who hasn't seen this movie?
Besides James.
I already saw it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've seen this movie before.
It just celebrated its like an anniversary, so I don't know. I think we could talk about it.
September would have been its 22nd anniversary because it was 95.
Yep.
So yeah, September would have been its 22nd. So what is in the box?
Well, okay, so Gwyneth Paltrow is Brad Pitt's counterpart in this film. It's his. Is it his girlfriend or his wife?
His wife. Yeah.
His wife. Okay, and she really hates being in that city. She wants to get out. There's this really good scene with her and Morgan Freeman where she kind of confides in him and lets him know, like, I'm pregnant, but she never tells Brad Pitt's character. So he's completely ignorant to that. And interestingly enough, Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't have a really big part in the movie at all. But they do set you up so you at least care about her a little bit. And I think not seeing her so much makes the fact that she's the victim in the the final minutes of the film all that more stronger, because she's the only kind of light in this dark movie. You know what I mean? She's the only kind of hope. You know what I mean? With Brad Pitt's character, I feel like that's who he cares about. You know what I mean? He's trying to. There's this scene towards the end when they're shaving and he says to Morgan Freeman, if I keep coming home late like this, she's gonna think something's up. And you get that kind of sense that he really cares, what she thinks about him. But anyway, so towards the end of the film, Kevin Spacey is the serial killer, for anybody who's forgotten or doesn't know that. He lets himself be captured by the two detectives, and so he lets himself be caught, and
it's part of his master plan to be caught,
because at that time there's two deadly sins to be carried out, and he lets them know, hey, I've killed the two people already, and the bodies are hidden. And the only way I'm going to give you these bodies or the areas that they are is if these two detectives that have been basically trailing him for this whole case drive me out to where they are. That's the only way you're going to get it. Otherwise, I'm never going to tell you what I've done. So then, reluctantly they agree, and they go out to bumfuck nowhere, pretty much, and they get a delivery truck drives out to them, and he delivers this box to Morgan Freeman while Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey's character are a good distance away.
Yeah.
And he opens the box not knowing what could be in it.
Yeah.
And it ends up being Brad Pitt or Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Which you never see, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
You never see anything. I think you do catch like a little wisp of blonde hair for a split second.
And there's blood all over the interior.
There's blood on the box. That's obvious. But you never actually see the actual head. Even though there's a lot of people that claim that they saw Gwyneth Paltrow's head, but you don't. It's one of those things like we were talking about before with some movies where people think that they saw that scene, even though it never really happened. But you don't see what's in the box.
Yeah.
You just see Morgan Freeman's reaction, and you know what's in the box from what Kevin Spacey tells Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it cuts back to Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey. Basically, his plan is to he goes to because he was the photographer from the very beginning of the film. He was able to get the information on the two detectives, and that's how he figures out that Brad Pitt has a wife.
Yeah.
And he ends up going. So that morning that he turns himself in, he had went already to Brad Pitt's house and had the played out the scene with the wife and killed her.
Which they foreshadow when the forensics comes back on his shirt, because they said that he has blood from the Pride victim. You know, he cut off her nose, so he has her blood on his shirt. He has his blood from cutting off his fingers, and the third said that they don't know who it belongs to yet.
And they say it's a female.
They said, yeah, we don't know, but a third unidentified.
So, and then I guess he had set it up so that when Brad Pitt finds out that he had murdered his wife, he would take his vengeance, and that would be the final sin, right?
Brad Pitt would become Wrath and kill John Doe. So yes, there were 2 more murder victims if his plan played out the way he wanted it to. And one of them was John Doe. The other one was Tracy, Brad Pitt's wife. Mills's wife, I should say.
Yeah, I feel like you said that twist, because if it wasn't spoiled for you, I feel like it's very good at hiding until those final moments. You have no idea that that's going to come until it all kind of, the puzzles connect, and that's why this is a masterpiece. I think is those that key scene out there just connects all of it together, like in a neat package. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I still can't believe that they got away with that ending being so fucked up. And if you want to get into what New Line wanted, we can. But man, it's just, there's no other way that film works and is effective as it is, unless that scenario plays out exactly how it plays out.
Yeah.
Because after knowing what John Doe did and killed the wife, chopped off her head, sent it in a box, you're basically rooting for him to win. You're rooting for John Doe to win because you want Mills to kill him for what he did and for destroying his family, because it was a family, because she was pregnant. And the look on Brad Pitt's face when John Doe says, "Oh, and she begged for the life of the child inside of her."
That he had no
idea. But Morgan Freeman,
I'm evil, so I love the smirk when he's like, "Oh, you didn't know."
because Morgan Freeman slaps him because Morgan Freeman knew. Somerset knew because she had confided into him earlier, but Mills didn't know. So good.
I don't think he would have killed him if he wouldn't have known that she was pregnant. That's why I feel. So I think that's kind of set him off of the ledge. Then he finally was 100% sure he was going to kill him.
So he was unsure.
Because he keeps pointing the gun, and then he's like, "Oh, about the baby," and then I don't know. For me, I don't know if it's me just imagining it, but I felt like Brad Pitt or his character is kind of more like. Then he lost it after that.
Well, he definitely battles back and forth within himself whether he should do it or not, because he didn't want him to win. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then, that's kind of the icing on the cake when he's like, he gives him that smirk and he's like, "Yeah, she was pregnant too." It's all over at that point. You know what I mean? Because
that's
he
that's his legacy.
He's not. What was I going to say? He fires on him once, and I think John Doe's clearly dead, and then he empties his clip in him.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just out of anger.
Yeah, he's taking out the rest of his anger.
And
he would have fired more if he had more.
There was I feel like they they do a lot, like a really good job